Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends for another special feeding episode. This time we're going to be feeding my second Mythic Monster, whom I acquired on the Legends Pass. This is Armor Claw. And Armor Claw is a mythic, as I said. He is fire. He's also a dragon, part of the good legions, a superhero, and he's very, very exclusive. Unfortunately, he only showed up with one open ruin slot, so we're probably going to have to do something about that in the near future. Anyway, in terms of where he's going, well, you know what? You're not going there. What? No. What is going on here? No. I have a spot for you. Where is it? There he is. After all, Zavi Pit needs company. I can't help but notice that they have gone back to the elemental colors for the backgrounds of those animations now. Notice how fiery that was. Okay, so let's see. This is somebody whom we're going to rename. And he's got a cool background. Yeah, that background is the same we had for Zavi Pit, so I'm guessing that that is going to be a standard for these individuals. So, this is Armor Claw. He is a mythic, not a legendary, a mythic. He is also fire. He has an evolving trait. Let's take a look at this. He begins with Taunt, right out of the trait. Just a normal taunt, very useful though. It will intercept all single target attacks directed at team members. At rank 1, he also becomes hardened, giving him an additional 20% chance to resist those nasty negative status effects. At rank 3, he also gains a self-stun immunity. So that's kind of cool indeed. Alright, let's look at his stats. Now, we're going to judge these stats, of course, by the fact that he is a mythic, right? Because you can't possibly compare him with legendaries, because that wouldn't be fair. By the way, don't drop that. I saw what you did. Alright, so his strength is pretty good. His life is pretty nice. He is going to be a tank, you know, the whole 20 thing, right? But I do understand he does damage as well. So in terms of speed, probably not among the better ones, but again, that's not what he does. His stamina is 180. I think that those go up as you rank him up, because I have seen somebody with 200, a mythic that is. So I'm guessing that that is kind of a difference there, because generally speaking, their skills are kind of costly. And speaking of those skills, let's look at the initial ones. Remember to subscribe. Deals heavy fire damage to one enemy, applies burn to one enemy. 0/0. Wow. Might keep that. Looks pretty cool. And then we have Monster Analysis. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Wow, those are some serious starting skills right there. Not so bad at all. And of course, that very special skill, Armor Army. Deals heavy special damage to all enemies, applies Ignite to all enemies, applies 50% life shield to all allies. So very good. He does damage to the other side, puts ignition on them, and then protects his own fellows. Very, very useful. And of course, if for those who didn't know it, this monster is, of course, dedicated to Armor Gaming, a very long-time Monster Legends YouTuber. Okay, so let's read about him. Monster Claw was Rosagon's childhood imaginary friend. He taught him how to analyze the enemy and pursue his passions. After winning a tournament, Rosagon was given a trophy with amber decorations, and as he looked at it, he thought, "Thanks, old friend." Within seconds, the amber released a substance which transformed into a living Armor Claw. His wish came true. Alright, so we're going to have to level this guy up to see the rest of his skills. He doesn't have a lot of them, so it's going to be a matter of which ones don't we want. Let's just go and see how this works out. Alright, first we have to get him to his final form, which of course is at level 4. So, eat tomatoes. Alright, there he is, his final form. He's got armor, he's got claws. Okay, that kind of works. Let's continue to level 7? Monster Review. Deals low special damage to all enemies, increase maximum life by 50%. Is that just himself? I believe that's just himself. Alright, so that's interesting. Low damage, but it is useful, especially considering he's going to be tanking, right? Well, he'll be tanking those single attacks. All right, so let's continue to level 10 maybe? Chest opening. Deals low fire damage to all enemies, applies burn to all enemies. Okay, that's useful. Useful indeed. We're doing damage. That's actually decent damage, and burning is a good torture effect. All right, so let's continue to 15, or okay, I guess we're going to 20. Level 20. I duel you. Deals heavy fire damage to one enemy, applies ignite to one enemy. All right, well, let's see. Probably not keeping that one, even though that's not so bad. You know, that one's actually not a lot better than that. So I'm going to take that one out. I mean, that first one is actually pretty good, especially with the 0-0. It's a little hard to get rid of it, you know? All right, so let's continue. 25, or is it 30? It's 25. Big Dream. Applies taunt and skill mirror to itself. Okay, doesn't he start with taunt? Skill mirror is good, but doesn't he, I guess maybe if somebody deactivates his... I don't understand that one. Don't understand that one. I mean, a skill mirror for a turn is good, but I don't understand that one. That one could be useful. I'm going to have to think about that one. I'm going to have to think about that one. All right, so let's continue. I think the next one is 35. No, it isn't. It's 30. Big Dream. All right, we just saw that one a moment ago. We're going to have to go look at the skills and then figure out what we want to do with this guy. All right, so let's continue to level 35. Save Rossegod. Deals moderate light damage to all enemies, applies sunburn to all enemies, restore all cooldowns to itself. Ooh, gotta keep that one. That's just really good right there. Okay, save that one. Use all the other attacks, then use that one and just get your cooldowns back, right? I really like that one, but now that you have this one, it's not as important. Which one do I want more? All right, that one. I Duel You does a little bit more damage, and it does ignite. It's just that 0-0 is just so useful. You know what I mean? It really is. All right, I'm just going to throw that there for now. We'll work it out when we look at the all the skills together. He might only have one more left. Actually, he may not have any left. We'll have to see. I mean, we're just going to go to 60 and see if we come up with something new. Pursue your passions, applies damage boost to itself, heals itself. All right, so that's interesting. That's a good question. Do I want to go with the damage? All right, this one here is burning on everybody, but it is low damage. This one here is sunburn. This increases his maximum life. I mean, this one only puts burn on everybody. I mean, it is better damage. Actually, that one is better damage. The fact that he can reset his cooldowns, though, I should say restore his cooldowns, though, makes it interesting. I wonder, does that take place before or after he uses this skill? Because that means a lot. If I do this one, does it restore his cooldowns before or after he executes the skill? I mean, shouldn't it be listed first? If it's like that, I don't know. It's a good question. Gonna have to test with that. I like the increased life, but the heal, I don't know. That's a very good question. He's going to be a little bit hard to actually pick skills for, depending on what you want him to do. I mean, he starts off tanking, which means he's going to get hit a lot. I'm going to throw it there for now, and then we'll work it out. All right, that is very likely the last one. So we're just going to head on to 60 now. And then we're just going to look at them and then figure out what we want to do. Okay, that's it, the Big Dream. All right, the Big Dream again. And finally, that one right there. All right. Okay, before I look at the skills, I just want to verify something, and we're going to look at the stats. All right, his strength is just very large, even for one of the mythics, I do believe, right? But if you're looking at this in terms of a legendary, it's not even close here. And his life is very good, of course, because he's going to be tanking. Speed, not as good as the other ones, but still, much faster than any legendary is going to get. Unless, of course, you put a whole bunch of speed stuff on him. I just wanted to verify something. Yeah, he does start with taunt. It's in his trait. So the only way he wouldn't be doing that is if you disabled his trait. It's not a status cast. I just wanted to verify that before we went into here. Because I'm not going to take that one, because I would be doing it just for the skill mirror, which is useful. It's just that I'm not going to do that for the skill mirror. I don't see that happening. All right, now let's see. What do I have over here? Now I have this one here. See, 0-0 is just really, really useful. And it's not, I Duel You isn't that much better, you know, because he's already going to have a big old strength on him. I mean, Ignition is better. It does more damage over a shorter period of time. And there are more individuals who are immune to burning than are immune to Ignition. It's just that I think I do need to keep this one, given the size of the stamina usages, right? So I'm going to stay with this one. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, this one right here. Now, this one is a completely different animal, right? This one you would use maybe later on, unless you wanted to lead with that, but you'd be kind of wasting things if you led with it because of the restoring of the cooldowns there. It's also kind of expensive. It also has a longer cooldown too, so I'm just going to skip down because that one doesn't really work out. Here is a big question. Do I want to do the extra damage, right? And by the extra damage, a little bit more damage physical. Even though that says low, it looks like it's moderate there. So I'm not really sure if that's a mistake in the wording or in the gauge. I guess maybe that could be something we could test here. But I mean, it does do burning, which means it's going to put a torture effect on, right? Or do I want my life increased for 3 turns, right? Considering he's going to get hit, that's an issue. Let's just move down. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, but I can heal myself if I keep this one. So do I need both of these? There's your question. Do I need both of these? I think I'm going to take chest opening. I think that's what I'm going to do with that. All right, let's take a look at what else we have. And this is way back to the original here, right? Can you believe I am actually taking his initial first skill? That's what I'm doing. I'm going to be keeping this skill. This was the first skill, the initial skill. I'm keeping it because it's just really very useful. Really very useful. Yeah, I can't take that one for just the skill mirror. Skill mirrors are useful, but I can't take that one. I can't think of what I want to get rid of. This is an attack I can use anytime. With his strength, he's going to do a lot of damage. This one, group attack, sunburn, and it restores his cooldowns. Very, very useful, right? This one here, you got a group attack here, which is going to do burning to everybody. And of course, even though it says, okay, stop that. Even though it says low damage, it doesn't appear to be low damage. We're going to have to test with that. This one, I think you kind of got to have that. You got to have some way of him healing himself. Maybe I want to do this. But that's just going to increase his maximum life. That's not going to fix him, you know? I think that if he's going to be taking hits like that, even if he's just playing tank, he's got to be able to heal himself. And he's got an enormous life, so 30% is actually going to be a big chunk. Adding in the damage boost is actually pretty good too. So I think I'm pretty confident with what I have chosen for him. And like I said, his stats are actually really darn good, and he is going to be taunting, you know, single target attack taunting right out of his trait. All right, let's just take one final look at the skills that I chose for him. All right, we're going to begin with remember to subscribe. Deals heavy fire damage to one enemy, applies burn to one enemy. Now, he does have a better single target attack, but not one with a 0 cooldown and a 0 stamina cost. So that means that he's going to use this one. Take his stamina away, he's going to use this one. Activate his cooldowns, he's going to use this one. And it's going to hurt because he's got a really good strength. You're going to put strength on him. It's going to hurt. So he can always do something. Very important. And then we have this one. Save Rossegod. Deals moderate light damage to all enemies, applies sunburn to all enemies, restores all cooldowns on itself. All right, lots of good stuff happening here. It looks like it's a high moderate damage, right? It's light damage. And it does sunburn, which is a very good torture effect. And it's also going to restore his cooldowns. it would be pretty overpowered if it did that after he did the attack, which means this would essentially have a 0 cooldown. So I'd be very curious to see how that works. They must be doing it before. Maybe they're doing it before the attack actually executes. Because otherwise, like I said, it's going to be a 0 cooldown, and that doesn't make any sense, right? And then we have this one, Chest Opening. Deals low fire damage to all enemies, applies burn to all enemies. All right, so this was a damaging attack. It's low fire, but it does put the torture effect of burn on them. There was one that was similar to this that basically increased his base health. I might end up going back to that. I probably want to test first. There's going to be a whole bunch of changes that might take place in the testing here. And then, of course, we have this one. Pursue Your Passions. Applies damage boost to itself and heals itself by 30%. Now, he is going to be taunting out of his trait, which means he's going to get hit by those single target attacks. So he should have some way of mitigating the damage or healing himself. In this case, I went for the healing himself. I didn't take the skill with the taunt and the skill mirror. Skill mirrors are very useful because he already taunts out of his trait. You would have to disable his trait in order for him not to be taunting. So I just don't see doing that given his other skills. Anyway, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. It's a little hard to judge. I said the same thing with Zombie Pit. It's a little hard to judge him at the moment because, you know, we're judging mythics against mythics and not against legendaries. Obviously, he would destroy a legendary head on given his stats. I mean, these stats would be really good if he was actually 100, you know, to a degree. But now he's only 60 and just, we're going to have to see how this works out. When I get my next mythic, I am definitely going to do a testing video going through the adventure map like I did with the legendaries. And that may not be too long a wait. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And play games because games are fun. See ya.